Hey there, it's time for me to answer some viewer questions. I've got questions here on equipment, software, and even on my goals as a photographer / SnapChick. Let's get to it. First question is from Ralph. Ralph says, how do you handle negative feedback? Well, one characteristic of just putting yourself out there and your work online is feedback. Whether you want it or not, the key is to expect it. You, the artist, decide whether or not you want to take the feedback into account. Feedback can be packed with statements like, why didn't you, and you should have. Those are always red flags for me, and I tend to ignore them. Now, there's no right or wrong way to give feedback, but it's easy to ignore the whys and shouldn'ts. Should you ignore that type of feedback? I don't know. That's up to you. And my next question is from Ken. Ken says, do you stop sometimes to take on board how fortunate you are to be in such a great place and be able to share your photographs with us all? Well, sort of. I kind of always feel like I'm running uphill trying to get those next great photos or share something that I haven't before. I do feel fortunate to be in sunny Arizona with the Grand Canyon and other cool places, but it wasn't luck. I'm here for a reason, and that reason is that I love it here. Next question is from Raymond. He says, have you ever been to a Photokina event? If not, do you think that you ever will attend one? I haven't been to one, but I may in the future. One thing that you guys may not know about me that doesn't totally probably make sense to you, but I'm kind of shy, and I know I have all sorts of videos out there on YouTube, but it's a way to reach you all while avoiding the crowds at the same time. It's not to say that I don't like events like the Overland Expo that I attended a few months ago, but those aren't opportunities that I seek out all the time. Next question is from Rich. Rich says, not sure if anyone ever asked you this. If so, no need to answer. What was the first DSLR you purchased and why did you choose it? Well, I've answered it a few times, but I'm happy to talk about it again. The first DSLR that I purchased was the Nikon D100. It's pretty out of date anymore, and mine took an unfortunate swim down a river. When that happened, I replaced it with the D70, which is smaller, but a better camera in many aspects. I actually still use my D70 all the time, and in fact, I used it recently here. Let's see, the next question is from Pablo. Pablo says, one camera and one lens to shoot for the rest of your life, what would they be? Oh, Pablo, this question is like impossible for me to answer because I embrace change, both to my style and what is offered by the manufacturers. I tend to like smaller camera bodies and prime lenses. I'd be perfectly happy with my D300S and a lens like my 24mm or 35mm prime lens, at least for a while, but then I'd be on to something else. The next question is from Gabriel, who says, what do you think about Elinchrom lights and are they good as they say? Thanks. You know what? I've not used that brand, but if anyone out there watching this has used it, please do leave your opinion in the comments on this video. And Joey asks, same question here. What video software is that? It doesn't look like Premiere. When I asked this question for you guys to give me questions on Facebook, I posted a photo of me working on my computer. I was editing a video, so that's what Joey is referencing. And someone did actually answer this question in the Facebook comments correctly. I was using Final Cut Pro X. Almost everything that you see on my channel, at least in the last few years, was edited and processed with it. It's easy to use, but it's also happy to do things like multi-camera. In fact, I record my audio separately from the video, and then I use multi-camera, that capability in Final Cut Pro X to sync the separate audio and the video. And my next question is from Zach. He has two questions. How's Lightroom going and what video editing software do you use? Well, I just answered video editing software. With regard to Lightroom, it's going well. I still find myself using Aperture all the time though, probably like many, I'm a creature of habit. I try to make time for more work with Lightroom, but when I need to edit photos in a hurry and I don't have time to tinker around too much, I load Aperture. And then Matt asks, what question do you wish you'd been asked that you never have? I don't know, nothing, I don't think. If I want to talk to you guys about something in particular, I make a video. And Jason asks, what brand of peanut butter goes best on a sandwich when packing a lunch to go out shooting for the day? I love peanut butter. I am currently into the fresh grind peanut butter at Whole Foods. Then I like to smash some berries onto it for my sandwich instead of jelly. I love it. Oh my gosh, now I want a peanut butter sandwich. Thanks. Thanks, Jason. John asks, if you were to travel the world to take a photo, where would it be and of what? That's a tough one. I'd definitely be happy at popular places like the Grand Canyon, but also any forest, historic place, or anywhere else. I think, I'd probably have to say if I were to travel the world, I would need to take photos everywhere. Even if I had a destination in mind, I'd end up loving everywhere along the way. That's just how I am. And then Jed asks, hi there, are you using a camera or camcorder? I wouldn't use camera, reasons being that if you pan or zoom, the lens tends to stick and be ratchety. Are you happy with the quality of video? I have a Canon camcorder and it truly gives fantastic reproduction. What are your views on either camcorder or camera recordings? Thanks, Jed. I've said this often. I don't really like DSLR cameras for everyday video, but I do use them for my SnapChick videos. They are definitely slow to focus and loud, though there have been some improvements. If you're focusing manually, like I am for this video, it's fine, but if you're chasing kids, pets, or athletes around, it's a terrible solution. Camcorders are purpose-built for video and they do the job well, but in most cases the sensor is smaller, so you lose the ability for creative depth of field effects. One compromise I found is mirrorless interchangeable lens cameras like my V1. The sensor is a bit larger than most camcorders. You can use prime lenses for sharp video and depth of field effects, and the focusing is fast and accurate. You know what else I like for video? Phones. The current generation of smartphones, they do a fantastic job with HD video. And my next question is from Kevin. Spider-Man used his powers to take killer photos for his day job as a freelance photographer. What superpower would you want to have to help with your photography work? Whew, Kevin, now that's a great question. I think that I want super jumping flash speed. So when I go to a new environment, I can zip all around and find all the best angles and be ready to take advantage of them right away. And then Keith asks, do you and or Raymond the intern geotag your images when you're out in the field? If so, what equipment and software do you use? I've been doing more geotagging and I find it useful since I can't always tell one spot from another by the time I get home. I've also had some spots tagged where I got a good wildflower, wildlife, or leaf color photos in the past. It's not something I've done very often, and I've not used any GPS solutions that hook directly to the camera. I have used software that uses time sync between my camera and GPS to merge the coordinates into the photo when processing the images. I have also used an iFi Mobi card that sends photos from my camera to my phone as I capture them, and it applies GPS data in real time as it saves them on the phone. Let's see, Wyatt asks, what are your lifetime goals, retirement plans in the far future? Hi, Wyatt. I want to continue to grow as an artist, try new things, and bring those experiences to you guys. I'm also considering a PhD program in something having to do with art and digital media and photography. We'll see how that goes. I don't have a direct plan for that yet. And retirement, I'm not going to retire ever. And Ben asks, what video editing software do you enjoy using and how did you go about learning to use that piece of software? Well, earlier in the video, I mentioned Final Cut Pro X. It's the one for me. How did I learn it? Two ways. The first is my favorite, trial and error. More error at first, but that's how I like to learn. And of course, YouTube. It's a great place to learn from real people doing real things. And that's it. That's all my questions. Thanks, everyone. Stay tuned to my Facebook page for the next time I ask you for questions for my next Q&A video.